Welcome to Strip Cover Lit, where we squeeze the bigger picture out of literature. I'm Adrian Fort, and we are here for another poetry discussion, which will take place in two separate playlists here on the channel. Number one, obviously, being the poetry discussion playlist, but number two, being the Charles Bukowski playlist here on the channel. The question in poetry today, the poem in question today, Hooray, Say the Roses, which reads as such. Hooray, say the roses, today is Blame's Day, and we are red as blood. Hooray, say the roses, today is Wednesday, and we bloom where soldiers fell and lovers too, and the snake at the world. Hooray, say the roses, darkness comes all at once like lights gone out. The sun leaves dark continents and rows of stone. Hooray, say the roses, cannons and spires, birds, bees, bombers. Today is Friday. The hand holding a medal out the window, a moth going by half a mile an hour. Hooray, 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 say the roses. We have empires at our stems. The sun moves the mouth. Hooray, hooray, hooray. And that is why you like us. This seems whimsical. This seems almost silly, almost farcical a poem. I don't think, though, that it is. First off, I want to notice today is Blame's Day. Okay, so whatever Blame's Day is, that's where we're starting. Today is Wednesday. Okay, well, we know where Wednesday is. Wednesday is the middle of the week. Supposedly, I suppose Blame's Day is before it. Today is Friday. So we have this very clear indication that we are moving forward in time through this poem. Now, that might not mean much necessarily at the beginning. It might not mean a whole lot to just say we're moving forward through time in a poem. If there is any narration to be had in a poem, of course, you are more than likely moving forward. But I think it is also to be taken in stride with the rest of the poem. Blame's Day is associated here with red as blood. The Wednesday where the soldiers fell and lovers too. Now, note, this is not where lovers were. It is where and lovers too, meaning that the lovers as well as the soldiers have fallen. Hooray, say the roses, darkness comes all at once, like lights gone out. Okay? So if we are progressing forward in time, that darkness is moving forward in time from wherever this was. Hooray, say the roses, cannons and spires, things of war, birds and bees, things of nature, bombers, things of war. So we are moving forward in time, and we are contrasting the natural world with the world of humankind. The humankind, cannons and spires and bombers. The humankind, soldiers and lovers. The humankind, maybe less or so, but still red as blood. Many things have blood, not just humans. We have spires at our stems. The sun moves the mouth. I think that what this poem is doing, so we have literary precedent for the symbol of the rose, right? Many literary precedents for the symbol of the rose. What we have here is the rose being sort of constructed. The rose being made as a natural thing, yes, uh, just as natural as birds and bees. But because humankind puts such value on the rose, we have incorporated it to civilization. It was not part of civilization. The rose was simply part of the natural world. But we like roses. We really like roses, enough to make them part of literary symbols, enough to make them part of cultures, enough to put them in important places in society. Is it not that the wherever wherever the Queen of England, King of England lives, there's a rose garden there, right? I believe there's a rose garden at the White House. These are important plants, important things, important flowers, important symbols to humans. So we are more than willing to, in a small part, change what we are doing in order to have roses. This is not the same for water, right? Access to water is something we have to have. We have to plant ourselves, in ironic fashion, near running water, near flowing water, near fresh water. Humans do, or did. Now we live in deserts and all sorts of things, but it was necessary for the vast quantity of time that humans were evolving as ourselves that we had to be in close proximity to water. All of the sort of pointing towards humankind that is done in this poem, soldiers fell, lovers too, cannons and spires and bombers. This is all dirty stuff. It's all bad stuff. It's all stuff that points to the lesser parts of our nature. Darkness comes all at once, like lights gone out. It is an interesting framing to have a line like that in the middle of a poem about roses, unless those roses in your poem are meant not to symbolize beauty. Those roses in your poems are meant instead to symbolize the weird things that humans choose to value. We choose to value war. We choose to value murder. We choose to value the fall of civilizations. We choose to value roses. Roses are so pretty. Such pretty things. We value the roses like we value many other things. Among those other things, war, damnation, pestilence. The ugly things that we value not because we like them, but because we like other things and we use them to get our way. We like roses, not necessarily because we like them, but because we think they're pretty. We have to do the work to cultivate the roses. It's an interesting line, isn't it? Darkness comes all at once like lights gone out. Darkness comes all at once like lights gone out. Is that literal darkness, or is that metaphorical darkness? Is that the darkness that turns a man into a soldier? Is that the darkness that turns the metallurgy from from building, towards the metallurgy that would allow cannons? Is that the darkness that comes all at once, that instead of building pretty castles, we have to add spires? Instead of flying from one place to another for commerce, we have to build bombers. It is a weird line. Darkness comes all at once like lights gone out. To have in a poem about roses, unless that poem about roses is about roses like poems you don't normally read. That's all I have for this video. If you like what I do here or appreciate it, hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other literature lovers. And if you find yourself here by chance but not design, consider hitting the subscribe button in order to stick around for more. There is always poetry on Mondays, and there will be February, March, and April, hopefully, of daily uploads. And after that, I will cut back on the production a little bit to amp up some of the other stuff that I am doing on the channel. There will be videos, but there will be more editing in them. Tomorrow should mark the very first episode of The Great Gatsby, a 10-part episode, or 10-part series, pardon me, on The Great Gatsby here on the channel. So I hope to have you back for the next one.